This Tesla stock news today is surprising. Tesla on average receives over 16,000 job applications per day. While that news is surprising, this news is just outright scary. The preliminary annual employment benchmark revision came in today at negative 818,000 jobs. By far the biggest downward revision we have seen in recent years. This chart goes back to 2017, and there's really nothing like this downward revision that we just seen. It's almost surprising how bad the government is at collecting data on the economy. At this point, they should just give up. Now, there was a lot of varying opinions on what this revision could look like. Goldman Sachs said we could have as high as 1 million. JP Morgan was expecting around 300,000 to the downside, of course, because, God forbid we actually understate jobs, that we dramatically are overstating jobs every single month. And I do think this data could take some time to get priced into markets because of the large swing in expectations that markets were forecasting. And we did see this data have a pretty negative impact on markets, at least when it came out. You kind of recovered a bit, and now you're just barely at break even for Tesla stock at the time of recording this video. Tesla earlier in the day today hit a high of $224.66 per share, and then almost immediately fell like $6 down to $218 and bounced back to $221. So it's not a terrible day at all for Tesla, but part of the reason why you did get pushed back down was this bigger than generally accepted downwardly revised jobs number. But you are actually seeing a pretty big outperformance today of the equal weight S&P relative to the market cap weighted S&P. The RSP today is up 0.45%. The S&P, the SPY, is only up about 0.1%. So you are getting a kind of broader market rotation. At the same time, some areas of big tech are selling a little bit today, like Google down 1%, Microsoft down 0.5%, and Apple down about 0.2%. But we do have some breaking news for Tesla stock investors, and this news is pretty interesting. Probably the biggest news of today, at least so far, is Baltimore City is going to spend up to $5 million to buy Tesla vehicles for use by government employees. Quote, this contract allows us to purchase 2 of the models currently offered, the Model 3 and the Model Y. For each of these models, we can select from one of the 3 trim levels offered by Tesla. For example, while some agencies may not require an extended long-range battery, others might need it for efficient daily operations. Considering the average selling price of a Tesla is around $43,000 or so and some change, that is about 116 Teslas just the city of Baltimore is roughly going to buy. If we do see other cities start to follow Baltimore, that could get pretty good. Tesla is now offering 3 years of free unlimited supercharging and premium connectivity for $2,000 to people who buy a new Model S or Model X in the US and buy FSD outright for $8,000. So basically, if you buy FSD outright for $8,000, then you get free supercharging and premium connectivity for 3 years for only $2,000 instead of what is normally $5,000. And let me just remind you that FSD, premium connectivity, free supercharging, or supercharging in general, these things have significant margins, okay? Much better margins than selling the vehicle outright. So this service revenue that Tesla may start to bring in more of is going to be very accretive to Tesla's bottom line. As we reported yesterday, Tesla is only facing a 9% tariff on vehicles produced in China and sold in Europe. But with this latest proposal, Tesla will get a much lower duty rate for its Chinese-made EVs in the EU compared to its Chinese competitors. To be clear, these tariffs are on top of the EU's standard 10% duty on car imports. And when we really compare Tesla's new rate, or what will be Tesla's new rate, to other manufacturers, Tesla got by far the best deal. Tesla at 9% compared to BYD at 17%, Geely at 19.3%, and SAIC at 36.3%. I mean, Tesla's 9% sounds much better than the other rates here. Over 4 years after Tesla started using the technology, Toyota is now going to test a Tesla-style EV gigacasting machine at the Japan plant. It will be capable of 9,000 tons of clamping pressure. Talk about behind the curve. Let's not even start to talk about Toyota's endeavors in autonomous driving capability. That's where they are really behind the curve. Rivian has officially obtained approval for the planned expansion of its production facility in Normal, Illinois, where it will make EVs based on its next-gen electric platform. This is also pretty substantial news today. Ford says it will no longer make all-electric 3-row SUVs and will instead produce hybrid SUVs, citing pricing pressures. These actions will reduce Ford's annual capital expenditures on pure EVs from about 40% to 30%. So Ford is just the latest automaker to really put Tesla in a bright place, to slow down any kind of incoming competition that Tesla was going to face. Lucid CEO Peter Rawlinson, in a new interview, says Lucid has taken the mantle from Tesla. We have the best tech. When I was at Tesla, it was the tech leader. Now it's distracted. That's real rich when Lucid has basically no tech at all relative to Tesla's technology. Ford has also announced that the production of its next generation Ford F-150 EV has been delayed for a second time to the second half of 2027 from 2026. Ford said it's working on features and experiences never seen on any Ford truck. Improving the efficiency of average EVs could reduce stress on the electric grid, cut charging costs by about a third, and slash vehicle prices by almost $5,000, according to new research published by the American Council for Energy Efficient Economy. Tesla has recalled 9,000 2016 Model X SUVs over roof trim pieces. Tesla will test the adhesion of the roof trim and reattach the trim pieces as necessary at no cost to owners of the vehicle. And it looks like we have also confirmed that V12.5.1.4 is currently being tested on Tesla employees. The most important thing here is whether the applicable FSD applies to Hardware 3 vehicles as well. And again, if you do not understand the reactions that the Cybertruck is giving people, this video can kind of sum it up. The individual that's recording is in a Cybertruck, and these people were in front of them, got out to take a picture, a selfie with the Cybertruck. And in some areas of the US, Cybertrucks are going to be celebrities in and of themselves for years, potentially. Tesla China introduced the humanoid robot Optimus at the 2024 World Robot Congress held today. Tesla is located in booth A103 of Beijing's International Convention and Exhibition Center. Tesla will also participate in the 2024 World Power Battery Conference to be held in the Sichuan province from September 1st. Here today in markets, besides the non-farm payroll downward revision, you didn't have much. Now, Target reported earnings. Target stock beat earnings. They beat by 39 cents a share on the back of renewed traffic to stores. Traffic increased by 3%, with all 6 departments at Target contributing to the improvement. Target CEO Brian Cornell tells it the retailer's comeback quarter reflects a steady dose of price cuts this summer on 5,000 daily essentials, items in which Target was losing market share to rival Walmart for several quarters in a row. Net sales were up 2.7% year over year to $25.5 billion versus estimates of $25.48 billion. gross profit margin came in at 28.9% versus 27% a year ago, and estimates of 28%. So that was better than expected by almost 1%. And diluted EPS came in at a 43% year-over-year boost to $2.57 versus estimates for $2.18 and $2.18, and their guidance was anywhere from $1.95 to $2.35. So they beat their guidance, they beat the average estimate. And this is good news for markets in this kind of market environment where everyone's worried about a potential recession. This again is leading to an outperformance of the Russell today. The Russell is up 0.63%, well outpacing the S&P 500 that is up 0.27%. And as I previously mentioned, the equal weight S&P is up 0.61%, so that is massively outperforming as well. Interestingly enough, though, the VIX is up almost 6% today. So even though markets are green, you're seeing more of a broad-based green day for markets, you are seeing the VIX going up by 6%. That's a pretty large margin. That just means there's some nervousness heading into tomorrow. Tomorrow, we get big economic data that will move markets a lot. And basically what the VIX is saying is Wall Street's a little nervous. They're going out, they're buying more puts than calls today, because the VIX monitors puts and calls on the S&P. So if there's more puts being bought on any given day, the VIX goes higher. If there's more calls being bought on any given day, the VIX goes lower. That said, option activity in Tesla stock today from big money, at least the interesting flow sentiment over on Ortex, is showing not much is actually happening today. You have 5 different trades totaling $455,000 with a positive order value of 57%. It's kind of a slow day for option activity in Tesla. Volume today for this Friday's expiration, 59.21% calls and 40.79% puts. Tesla's short interest of free float still sits at 3.13%. You have $19.22 billion currently sold short in Tesla stock, equaling 86.91 million shares that are currently sold short. You have return shares today of 1.12 million and borrowed shares of 244,000. That means on net, almost 900,000 shares are actually being covered today. When shorts cover seemingly for no reason, it's not really any crazy big news today that is needle moving for Tesla, at least from, Tesla's market cap perspective being $800 billion. If shorts are just covering to cover, that's a really good sign that Tesla stock's going higher from here. And I will again point out that at the time of recording this video, Tesla's $222 per share, which is above that critical threshold of 220, which is really your breakout level. The longer you stay above 220, the better. The closer we are to a larger breakout. Over on StockTwits, sentiment for Tesla is neutral at 45 today. 1 day ago, it was neutral at 53. Google Trends data for the Tesla lineup shows the Cybertruck is slipping a little bit more from 67 down to 63. The Model Y is ramping up from 25 to 26. The Model 3 as well is ramping up from 25 to 26. The Model S went from 11 to 10, so actually falling a little bit. And the Model X went from 8 to 9. So overall, very solid Google Trends that we are seeing for Tesla. Tesla continues to run about 4,000 different ads with Google, and Tesla's global inventory numbers are remaining stable for the Model X and the Model S. They are falling a little bit for the Model Y, down to about 6,800 from recently hitting about 7,400. So that's a 600 reduction, almost 10% reduction in the last couple of days. That's good. The Model 3 just continues to go higher as far as global inventories. Don't be surprised if there's more promotional activity in the weeks to go ahead for Tesla. Whenever you get inventory numbers that start to get to these levels, you do tend to see promotional activity. And here on the day today, 10-year Treasury yields are down 3 basis points to 3.78%. The percent of stocks currently trading above their 50-day moving average is at 58.65%. So a little over half of all stocks today are are above their 50-day moving average. 1.5% of all stocks on our markets are breaking above their 50-day moving average today. So this is a healthy level. It's not, extreme to the upside or extreme to the downside. It's almost split evenly. The CNN Fear and Greed Index is exactly neutral today at 50. Yesterday, you were fearful at 44. So things are getting much better, let's just say that, than where they were a couple of weeks ago. In the next video, we will break down specifically what to expect coming tomorrow and how Tesla stock will react to it. So stay tuned to the channel for that one. We also have some earnings coming out today and after hours: Snowflake, Wolfspeed, Zoom, a couple of other stocks. I don't think they're going to be impactful for markets, but hey, you never know. So with that said, that will conclude this video. Hit that like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you guys want to come trade with us live in real time, check out that link down below in the description of this video as well. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.